morning, masterminds. Welcome to another work vlog. It's my last work day of the year. I'm telling you, this stuff has enhanced my ability to work. It gives me calm focus throughout the day. I'm not as quick to get frustrated with students. Roberto and I just call it Zen. Nirvana. Has my face serum been effective? Let me know. Good morning, Jill. You have a recall on you regarding your steering rack. You're going to see a dealer bright and early tomorrow. Zen.
6 hours later.
It's quite frustrating when coworkers don't do their fucking jobs. My first student, Indian girl, was okay at driving, but I had to catch her up. It's frustrating to just have to overwork. Especially when she's going to be taking her test pretty soon. At least I didn't blow up. Made her feel good about herself. Zen. I don't yell at people for no reason. My normal talk just offends people. Goddamn softies. I have time to squeeze in a walk. See you later.
1 eternity later.
So glad to be done with that kid that just can't shut the fuck up and has a big ego, thinks he can do everything. It's just dog shit. Fuck. We'll have one last lesson with me in a few months. Thank fuck for that. I want to add that today's Indian girl almost crashed us into a car. We were practicing reversing by a curb several times. I asked her to repeat the maneuver and she put it to drive and rolled forward. I skipped the heartbeat. Anyway, let's get through all the notable experiences I've had since my last work vlog. July 18th, some new Valero gas cards were missing and my key fob was one without a card. Our partner Chevron station was closed that day too. On the freeway, a Tesla driver didn't check her blind spot and cut off my first student and me by literally swerving left into our path. I held down the horn. Gilroy day for my last student. I had to experience rush hour traffic in a Ford Fiesta. Back in San Jose, I met Roberto at Valero to get gas, but our transactions failed. New account. July 19th, I was assigned the Hyundai Elantra I was in a crash with. The damage was recently repaired, and inside the car I found a jackpot of test booklets. July 20th, I finished my instructor license renewal application. I texted my boss asking if he'd cover some or all of the renewal cost and for access to my pay stubs through Intuit QuickBooks. He replied, yes and yes. Exclamation point. I had a midget Indian, 4'9", with minor deformities. He had to bring a pillow for visibility. July 21st, I had a 38-year-old Indian immigrant of 8 months. Had 6 lessons with other providers before. Fear of driving as his father was killed in a car crash. He specifically asked for me. I helped him master control of the vehicle so that he could focus more on road rules. He intended to have me take him to the drive test. July 22nd, a schedule error meant I lost my 3rd student. July 23rd, my first student started out calm. He failed my first practice test and got super frustrated. He started speeding and doing other aggressive maneuvers, failing my second practice test. He continued to do dumb shit to try to get a reaction out of me, but I remained calm and collected. I found it entertaining to see this white kid out of control of his emotions. I let him speed himself home early. After my third lesson, my boss asked me to remind him about reimbursement for renewing. I learned from him the DSAC, Driving School Association of California, offers the continuing education courses. July 25th. Because of the reimbursement, I received my biggest post-tax paycheck. The DMV also notified me that my instructor license renewal was approved. The mother of my first student gave me a bottle of water. Last student was a dumb blonde. July 26th, I had a 30-year-old Armenian guy on his first ever lesson. I took my second student to her DMV test in Gilroy. She told me she hadn't practiced for a month and it showed. She also complained about her previous instructors. I was ranked best for my immediate effective help and just chatting to ease her nerves. She then made a critical error near the end of the test. She planned on requesting me for another DMV escort in late August for the same DMV. We then chatted more about her previous instructor. On the way back, we were right up front of a CHP traffic break. July 27th, 4 uninterrupted hours of teaching Indian sisters. The first and older one was worse at driving. I then had a 90-minute break. July 28th, we don't serve Fremont, but my Milpitas student was scheduled to test at the Fremont DMV. It was my first time doing a lesson in that area. I got to see Spin a Yarn again. I enjoyed teaching my third student, a nervous Asian girl. It was a laugh fest. July 29th, I saw a Boost Blue Honda Civic hatchback, becoming more and more common nowadays. My third student was thumbs up for an impressive parallel park by 2 people in a Tesla waiting for us. July 30th, I saw another Boost Blue Honda Civic hatchback. A 3:30 p.m. replacement was never found for me. August 1st, I was asked to train a new instructor. August 2nd, a new instructor, Elizabeth, shadowed me for my 11:30 lesson only. My second student passed 2 of 3 practice tests with me. First one was 1 critical, 1 regular point. Second one, 0 critical, 0 regular, perfect score. And then 0 critical, 2 regular points. August 3rd, I had a clueless Vietnamese girl unwilling to learn new techniques. She continued to struggle doing basics. In quotes, I can't even get my makeup right. Before the lesson, the mom complained about the first instructor taking her out to the freeway. And I had the second of 4 training sessions with Elizabeth. Just 2 hours. August 5th, my first student was a smelly 16-year-old Indian girl. The third of 4 training sessions with Elizabeth, another 2 hours. She got to witness me teaching a 32-year-old Indian woman wanting to get back into driving. She moved from Chicago, was already licensed, but she was so used to carpooling with her coworker husband. The Indian woman decided to throw her sandals in the back and drive barefoot. Overall, only a mildly frustrating lesson. If only she threw it at Elizabeth. August 6th. Anxious young adult female that I progressively challenged and got annoyed with. August 8th. Spotted a new Kia Forte in the lot. I was given a notice requiring every other Wednesday to arrive half an hour early of shift to get a car wash. Second appointment was a DMV escort for the 18-year-old younger brother of the 20-year-old guy I would have the next day for his drive test. He passed at the Santa Clara DMV. Third student, it looks like I didn't finish my thought there. August 9th. Commuted to from work with Roberto. Took the 20-year-old brother to the Santa Clara DMV. He got a bitchy female examiner, but he passed. 3-hour gap. 4th of 4 training sessions with Elizabeth. And then I had a 21-year-old guy with an amusing name. On Ching Wang. Capital E-N, space, capital C-H-I-N-G, space, capital W-A-N-G. August 10th. Elizabeth was late to meet at the office, so I left for my 11:30 student. She texted me frantically that she arrived as I exited the parking lot. I didn't care. Gilberto denied training to her. We agreed to meet at the office at 1:55 p.m. She was a little late. I had my final training session with her. Picked up my 2:40 p.m. student from school. He wasn't allowed to take the DMV drive test because his dad gave him a copy of his permit. I should have checked, but I didn't question it, telling me he had his permit. So I got to go home early. August 11th. My bosses were sitting in the front room as I arrived to work. We quickly discussed what happened with my DMV appointment the day prior. The client was refunded in an hour, so I lost pay. Later, Roberto informed me he chatted with our bosses for half an hour when he arrived for work. They shared laughs over my poopy student incident and the idea that the customer isn't always right. Roberto mentioned my memo to elicit such amusement. August 12th, I had a 25-year-old Filipina that had 5 lessons with one of our worst instructors ever. I set her on the right path. August 13th, last lesson was with a student from the day prior, a 17-year-old Asian guy that lacks discipline. He failed my practice test, 6 critical, 22 regular points. August 15th, before starting my second lesson, Roberto rendezvoused with me at my second student's address so I could give him the car wash voucher I no longer wanted. During my second lesson, gosh, Mac called me and left a voicemail. That's the guy I trained. That's kind of a creeper. Maybe he is. Definitely creeps me out. I returned his call after the lesson. He left me a voicemail. I said that right. I learned he works for another driving school, and he wanted a spare certificate for his student. I couldn't help him. August 16th, first car wash Wednesday. Went to our partner Chevron for a quick and easy wash. August 17th, I had to discipline my second student, a 17-year-old Asian girl. She drove much faster than her ability to recall rules of the road. My reactions, and I quote, "You speed like the boys at your school. Do your parents drive crazily? You learned too many bad habits from them." I set her straight. My last student requested music to be playing during the lesson. I agreed because she proved quickly that she's quite skilled. We listened to Green Day and Weezer. At the end of the lesson, she said, "You have a great taste in music." August 19th, I spotted a Boost Blue Honda Civic Hatchback Sport Touring. August 20th, I frustrated my second student. I made interjections to fix her decision-making and maneuvers. At one point, I told her to keep to the leftmost lane, but she went straight. I said, "I'm not trying to make you feel dumb, but..." And I went on and on to clarify for her understanding. She started speeding and couldn't keep still when stopped at reds. August 22nd, the 2 p.m. replacement never came. I killed a huge time gap at home. First of 2 consecutive days teaching a 24-year-old, internationally studying Indian guy. Smelly. August 23rd. First of 3 lessons with a 22-year-old girl. I then had a 29-year-old Chinese woman. And then an Indian dude really pissed me off with his failures to slow down for right turns. Oh, yeah, the same Indian dude from the day prior. August 26th. Dilemma with 3rd student. The dad informed me his son had a drive test scheduled 2 days later. Well into the lesson, I noticed his permit was expired. I also had to make a decision regarding the signing of his certificate, because there's penalty of perjury. I wrote the completion date prior to his permit's expiration. Later, my boss responded by text, "Love it," because I told him my predicament. August 27th, I was gifted another bottle of water by the mom of my student I had on July 25th. The Vietnamese lady with her Vietnamese white child. August 28th, just as I finished up at the office, my boss texted me asking for my October work schedule. Weird. Texted me at night. August 29th, my boss texted me asking for clarification if I'm working on Halloween. I told him I want it off, but I'm open to any DMV appointments. When I got to the office, my male and female bosses were in the front room. I was told prices would be raised, and I'm one of the few instructors to get a raise because of my good work. My bosses mentioned an office lady told them she saw me laughing with a student when we were practicing parking in the lot. September 1st, Gilroy Day for my 5 p.m. student. September 5th, I found a company-wide notice about pay raises. 3rd student was a stinky Indian girl, smelled like taco seasoning and onion, spicy and pungent. She was wearing jorts with all the cellulite and vaginal airing going on. Ew. My my descriptions are funny. September 6th. I went for a car wash during my hour break. After the wash, I had an emotional breakdown. My boss returned my call moments after starting my 5 p.m. lesson. I told them I was going to cancel, but decided to finish out the job. September 7th, I received chocolates from my first student, the Viet white girl. Back at the office, I had a chat with Roberto, Jeff, and Beth. Jeff R. Oh, let me delete that. That's not what we're talking about. September 8th, the office assigned a Kia Forte to me and another instructor. The other guy got to it first, so I had to switch to a Ford Fiesta. I got it washed during my hour break, and then I chatted with Tita Bell at Chevron. September 10th, as my Indian student practiced reversing by the curb, our Kia Forte stopped itself because it sensed an Amazon van entering the bike lane next to us. I told her about my relevant collision story prior to her reversing. September 12th, my coworker stopped me from driving off with my basket on top of the car. I was distracted by my new watch. Teddy, my Tissot. Second student pissed me off by not listening to my advice. She mounted the curb during an island turn, not slowing down and steering properly. Last student, overly sensitive white girl, was distressed and crying for much of the lesson. She proved her method sucked. She struggled to learn my techniques. 20 minutes into the 2 hours, she got offended when I asked her if she's open to learning new things. She struggled to learn my techniques and cried the rest of the time. At one point, she got distracted by a man walking his pet pig. I spoke with the mom to ease the situation, and then I met Roberto's ENFP sister. September 14th, I had the Viet girl I escorted to the Gilroy DMV on July 26th. She passed the Gilroy test with only 8 points lost. September 16th, practicing the suicide lane with my second student. A car in the yellow lane annoyingly yielded to us. A white man on a bike screamed, "Ah, what the fuck?" as we turned into the main lane next to him. Third student has a DGen, third student has DGen as a name, like capital DEGEN. She drove like a DGen. September 18th, I had the midget Indian kid again. September 19th, 21-year-old Asian girl, and I was gifted a water bottle and more chocolate by the Viet white girl. September 23rd, I had a 40-year-old anxious white woman. September 26th, 30-year-old anxious woman. And a 33-year-old Indian woman I had before on May 2nd. When I arrived, her reaction was, "Oh, you're here? I'll just come through the garage." At the end of the lesson, I let her know why I couldn't continue teaching her. September 27th, I told my last student, a 17-year-old Indian kid, to complain about his previous instructor. Catching him up on his third lesson drained me. I was sleepy by the end of it. October 7th, I received a $30 cash tip from a Filipino parent. October 10th, Gilroy Day for my third student. October 11th, an office lady called me and told me my first student was waiting at the office. The sibling that answered the front door told me he Ubered over there. As I walked up to the front door of my third student's house, I saw a dead crow on his lawn. The corpse was just laying there, eyes open, wings folded, and legs up. Roberto joked that it died from smelling my student's Indian household. October 12th, I received more chocolate bars and a Voss water bottle from the Viet white girl and her mom. October 14th, first student canceled as I was heading over. I had a big gap. I went back to the office parking lot to deal with the low tire pressure warning of my assigned car. I also topped up Jill's tires and went for a walk. October 15th, dumb blonde. Took her 6 tries at the permit test. She seriously concerned me with her maneuvers. During that lesson, I saw a Tesla Cybertruck. Before I left the office, I left a note requesting Faith, oh that stupid bitch, be removed from my schedule to avoid a customer service disaster. October 17th, Gilroy Day for the same 5 p.m. student a week prior. October 18th, big ass gap. Informed in the morning my 11:30 student canceled. She rescheduled to Roberto later in the month. He was informed that Faith canceled on him. Before heading to my second student's home, I reminded her to submit payment. She told me she attempted to cancel the day prior. I went to Target for Airheads, walked around a school, ate snacks, and watched YouTube videos. I forgot to submit my digital time card at the end of the day. October 19th, after completing my 2 p.m. lesson with this black girl, my lesson credit disappeared in app. October 20th, I asked my boss about it. He texted. Unfortunately, she wasn't happy from the lesson. We rescheduled it. When I got to the office, I quickly spoke with my bosses with their son in the room. I told them I'm pissed off and I wasted my time. They only agreed with me that the student is too sensitive. My male boss added, I wasn't going to tell you, but you asked about it. On my way to my first student, my assigned car that I had the day before warned of low tire pressure for the front right tire. With my student, we picked up my tire pump from Jill. I inflated it after the lesson. My male boss responded to my text asking to open Monday, 11:30 to 5, and if I will still get paid for travel to from the Black Girl's residence. He responded, and I quote, yes, and the paid lesson. Noel, I value you and what you bring to the business. No one is perfect. Your heart is in the right place. I escorted my second student, a bad, smelly Indian driver I had twice before in August, to the DMV. 14th appointment with us. Damn. He passed, and I had to push back my 5 p.m. lesson due to having no travel time. October 21st. First lesson with a seemingly special needs kid. Aggravating lesson. As I was leaving the office after my shift, I attempted a jump scare on Roberto as he was loading his car. October 24th. Flat tire on my assigned Kia, so I had to switch to a Fiesta. It had less than an eighth tank of gas, and I didn't want to be extremely late. First student, 23-year-old Indian guy in his third lesson, drove pretty well and learned quickly. He had driving experience in India. At the end of the lesson, the car dashboard warned me to get gas because the needle was too deep in the red zone. The mother of my third student warned me her 16-year-old daughter has a hearing aid and head deformity. I actually had her yesterday. I thought she had Down syndrome, but she was surprisingly capable. She just can't speak clearly due to her features. October 25th. Another Boost Blue Honda Civic Hatchback Sport was parked in the lot as I arrived. Third student, dumb 17-year-old brunette, somehow was able to take the DMV drive test without a certificate of completion of behind-the-wheel training. She even passed the test. The DMV decided to honor her test result, but required her to obtain the certificate from a driving school to get, a license issued to her. I don't know how she passed. She's a serious hazard. October 26th, I received more chocolate bars and a Voss water bottle from the Viet white girl and her mom. Third student, dumb blonde, really tested my patience. October 27th, 29-year-old Filipina, born here but studies and drives in the Philippines. She ended up agreeing with me that she shouldn't take her scheduled test on November 1st. I lost out on DMV pay for that day, and the office kept open the 10:30 a.m. sign-up. October 28th. First student, younger sister of an Indian dude I had long ago, annoyed me as much as her brother. Too many duh moments. At the end, when I used my right hand to demonstrate how to twist the key to turn off the car, she tried to shake my hand. And then it was my second time with the special needs kid from a week prior, even more aggravating. I explained to the mom why the lessons are stressful. November 4th, I took Justin, the second son of the Viet lady that tips well, on his 4th lesson with me. The mom gave me a can of Coke, which I drank during the lesson. On the freeway drive to Gilroy, I received my first compliment on my Ver watch. We explored Gilroy to prepare for his test. We saw a cop car getting towed. When we returned, the mom was shocked we went to Gilroy. She told me she wasn't expecting me to take him for the full 2 hours and that she was going to take him the next day to Gilroy. She thanked me for saving her time. I received a $20 cash tip. November 6th, I had a 46-year-old Indian woman. Tons of angry moments due to her dangerous maneuvers. I was bringing her down to reality. Then I had a 25-year-old Pakistani woman. Dangerous maneuvers. Pulled over to attempt my methods, but inability to learn. I decided to yield and let her try her way. More dangerous maneuvers. Pulled over again to discuss. Decided to keep her in just a residential area. Absolutely bad driving as I held back. After 15 minutes of barely saying much, I pulled us over again. I stated, "We've tried your way." Then I asked her if she's learning anything and if she knows how to correct her mistakes. She got quiet, started crying, and asked me to drive her home with about 40 minutes remaining of the 2 hours. I informed my boss of the situation. I told them I'm actually okay with not getting paid. I had a temporary feeling of disrespect. But at least I didn't get attached to helping someone that doesn't want help. November 7th, I had a 23-year-old Asian girl that failed her drive test twice. And then I had a 22-year-old girl. November 8th, I took Justin to the Gilroy DMV. He passed the test with 6 errors, with the toughest examiner. He almost failed at the beginning. Someone sped up at him in the parking lot. The examiner would have failed him if the person wasn't speeding. The Viet Mom tipped me $50 cash, a Rice Krispies bar, Choco Rooms, and a can of Coke. She invited me into her house to get advice on her car insurance coverage. She spent $11,000 for 6 vehicles, 4 drivers in 2022, and she needed to cover Justin's brand new Lexus Sport. Damn. I then had a crybaby white girl for my 5 p.m. slot. Anxiety and indecision, getting herself into trouble. Ended up crying when parking poorly in front of her house on a busy road. I had to drive us around the block to end the lesson safely. November 9th, more chocolates and Voss water from the Viet White family. November 10th, I gave a 2.5-hour lesson to an Indian girl. Her previous instructor was 30 minutes late to her previous appointment with us. I convinced her he wasted her time. She made tremendous progress with me. She told me she intended to complain about the last instructor to get a free lesson with me. On the way to my 3rd student, I had to pass slow middle lane drivers on the right. An SJPD cop saw me speed but didn't pull me over because the officer was returning to the nearby station to end shift. And then COVID-19 symptoms started presenting. November 16th, I learned from Gilberto that the DMV examiner at a local DMV was informed by her boss that our female boss showed my lesson plans to prove that we don't teach the wrong things, and that my lesson plans were called outdated. I then updated the lesson plans and haven't shared them. November 20th, I returned to work. My second student, a brain-dead Mexican girl, frustrated me. November 22nd. My second student, a 16-year-old Asian dude, charged a mother and daughter on their bicycles. And not slowing down enough, the little girl pedaled faster across the street, lost control, and crashed into the sidewalk. I couldn't stop cracking up for the rest of the lesson. November 25th, Morgan Hill Day for my third student. November 26th. I had a 91-year-old Iranian man. What do I say? Still pisses me off. I feel like I got punked. The DMV wants to drive test him due to changes in his eye health. He pissed me off just as bad as the Iranian woman earlier in the year. He's been in this country for like 4 decades, and he doesn't understand English. He still tipped me $20 cash though.
What you did is dangerous. That's why I'm angry.
No, it is. The boss, the manager, try to help the another guy.
I honestly don't know what
your attitude is not very good, unfortunately.
How am I supposed to help you when you don't understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, you try, but you are too angry.
I'm getting angry because you crashed us into a curb there.
Okay, just it was one time, don't worry. That's it.
No, it's a consistent mistake that I'm trying to help you with, but you're continuously making the mistake.
You want to help me, but I go not very fast because I don't like to very fast. This is the 30, 35. I am going.
I'm not telling
30,
you to go fast.
35.
I'm telling you to look at your lane position and think about your speed control. Yet, you drive us into a roundabout island. You lift up onto the curb.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate that you try to help me. Just I can say that, not more than this.
Just stay in this lane straight. Just stay in this lane.
I am not a young 30, 40.
I don't need you to be young to be able to pass the test. I need you to be able to
Because
understand the rules of the road.
if you talk with the guy 20, 30, 40, that's okay. Not for the 80 or 90 or 70.
Again, I think
These
it's...
are the same as your dad, grandpa. If
I'm not looking for you to be perfect.
If he
I'm
don't
looking for you.
understand something, you must help her.
I am doing my best to help you with the rules of the road and the skills required, but we have a miscommunication because you don't understand the English.
This is my problem.
I know that is your problem, but do you understand what that does to us in the car? You are possibly a danger.
No, I must talk with somebody knows Persian.
I agree.
Okay,
Definitely.
Thank you, because I didn't know. This is the first time after 70, 80, 90 years. This is the first time they told you must go test.
I know, because the DMV
I
is
didn't
concerned.
know nothing about the test drive something. I try to pay for that.
Well, now you know. They are concerned about your ability to drive safely.
This is my problem, because I must tell the company I am Persian. I need somebody
You're not
knows
understanding.
the interpreter.
You are not
and
understanding.
That's it. I don't need more than that. I thought I told you if you have friend knows the Persian,
I don't know anyone like that.
this is good for me, not for you because you don't. Maybe you grow here to USA.
The
I
issue.
am not growing into the USA.
But do you understand the issue here? I'm trying to teach you,
I know.
but you're just doing. You're just doing.
with a good lesson,
You're just doing dangerous maneuvers.
not with angry. You
I allow you to make
angry.
some mistakes.
Oh.
I wasn't angry the first time you lifted onto a driving in someone else's lane. Left turn, leftmost lane.
One or two.
Lane 1. You're still in lane 2. Just stay here then. This is what I'm saying.
Anyway, thank you very much. You try to help me. Sorry about that. I couldn't know more than that. This is my problem, not your problem.
No, when you're in the driver's seat in our company vehicle, it is my problem still, because if you get us into a car crash or someone gets killed, you're in control.
My knowledge was I thought the better put my wife the same as me. I try to tell you, please put your car into my garage and come with my car. I am very comfortable with that. But somebody told no. They
Yeah.
must come with the car company.
Do you understand the liability issue? If I was in your car and you got me killed,
I have everything. I told you, I have everything.
so you're saying if we got in a car crash in your car, you'd pay my medical bills?
I paid them.
You'd pay my medical bills?
With my car, I have the insurance.
Put both hands on the wheel. I've said this countless times throughout this lesson.
Doesn't matter. My car injury, unfortunately, it happened something. I must pay for compensation.
I don't care if you want to pay for it.
But-
I'd rather prevent the mistake from happening.
Anyway.
You even said yourself, you're lazy. You don't want to learn.
Sorry. Anyway, at the time to 90, I can learn more than that. If they gave me that, that's okay.
I know, but I'd like to agree with you that you've been driving for a long time, you know the rules of the road. I'm trying to be generous to you here. I'm giving you the respect that you've been driving for a long time. But you demonstrate that you don't
Yes.
follow the law.
I drive with myself New York to Florida.
Both hands on the wheel, you are
Orlando.
drifting in the...
To Orlando. I am not a student at 16 years or 18 years.
Please make a left lane change. Just one. Pick up your speed.
I'm mistake, I must go there.
Stay in this middle lane. I just wanted one lane change. That's it.
I want to change.
Now, do you want me to specify there, as you requested at the beginning of the lesson, do you want the critique of what you did wrong for
I
that
must
lane
go
change?
left
Straight.
or straight.
Would you like the critique of why that lane change was improper?
Just first I told you just the guy said me right, left.
Yeah, that's what the
I
exam was meant to.
understand, not too much. The smell.
Why did you jerk the wheel there?
You tell me, or
Do you need driving lessons, do you feel? Do you want to learn the rules of the road?
no?
Okay, if you just want to take your test, contact the DMV to guarantee a Persian, Iranian, Farsi speaking.
Yes, you told me. I am glad for that. I try and
go up to the limit line too.
And I tell the nephew for that.
I may want to talk to your nephew as well, just to give him that heads up.
No, I must contact to him my situation.
Like a left lane change. Left lane
I must.
change.
I am not too much familiar with your car.
It's the same as your vehicle. You're just not understanding the direction. Just go straight.
Straight.
I said the first
matter.
lane
Both
or
of
leftmost
them,
lane.
Both.
Means the same thing. You go to the second lane for some reason. Are you concerned about the U-turn sign? This is still a left turn lane.
Please hold on. He wants to return and go the left.
You think?
Okay.
Do you think this is just a U-turn lane? It is not. Look at the sign. U-turn and left turn. We're just making a left to get back home for you.
Yeah.
Use this lane, not that lane.
What is different than that?
You're gonna have to force a lane change. You may not be able to lane change in time. Just get in this lane immediately. Plan ahead.
Yeah, if you say that, I'm mistake. But what happened about that?
If you were in the second lane, you probably would have followed those cars in lane 3. Why can't we just stay in the first lane the entire time?
Straight ahead. The same as this car. This car.
The truck or the SUV?
Center.
You're talking about the Honda.
Correct. Honda.
Why would you want to be in that lane when we're going to make a left at the next light?
Because I have 1 mile I must drive.
Just get in the lane immediately that you need to be in.
For 1 month I drive here. Doesn't matter. For both of them there. Both of them. My home
you cannot
is
be helped. I cannot help you.
No, I believe it. I believe yes.
You are lazy. Those were your words. Those were your words.
Okay, I don't want to bother you or.
You're not bothering me. I'm more than willing to help you.
Take it easy, please. With me, take it easy.
Well then, accept that you will not get a license. Just accept that fact.
Why you didn't say to me?
You know, I take pride in helping people get their license, but you really want to disregard my help.
If you want to talk with another guy, the same as with me, it is not fair. Your attitude is not good with me.
Do not deny that you
just my problem. I don't have too much English, too much learning. You know 100% more than me. Why you didn't understand that? You must come.
I know. I'm the expert here. I'm trying to help you. You need to be willing to receive the information.
Help me with good language. Not say.
Okay, so you're in control. You don't know what you're doing. Do you understand my frustration and my fear?
Oh, I understand now. You are a very good boy, but not for me. That's it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't get angry. I don't get angry with the drivers when they're in the car.
Because 20 years I was to the Air Force, and I was a first supervisor and managed a few guys in technician. It is not good attitude with me. I retired 2 times. One here, one in my country.
That's a totally different matter. In terms of the context of driving, not good at all.
Normally,
whatsoever.
It is not good attitude. believe me, it is not good for you for future. You are very young. You have
you're
time.
a danger. I have every right to be
Sorry.
angry here.
No.
Like,
Sorry.
why do you just take off your seatbelt when the car's still moving?
Because I am too much nervous. For that case, I told them better go home.
What is the point of
Thank you.
driving without the seatbelt? You are unreasonable. You cannot be helped.
Correct. You can tell me, but
I'm going to speak
not
with your wife.
force majeure. If you want, I show you all the paper I told.
I don't need to see it. I just need to speak with your...
November 29th, after completing the third of 3 lessons with a student, his mom gifted me the Danish butter cookies and an envelope. November 30th, I had a 17-year-old Afghani or Pakistani guy, really fucking stupid. Near the end of the 2 hours, he asks to pull over. He slams the brakes, causing me to yell, "What the fuck?" I obliged his request to end a little early so he can use a restroom. December 3rd. First student almost ran over a coyote. Gilroy Day to practice test a student. Third student, a 15-year-old white girl, pissed me off with her inability to comprehend. She made so many lane violations and even mounted a curb on a turn. December 5th. I received a text from my boss asking to come in early for a talk. I responded that 1. I'd like to reduce my commute to and from work, because I only had 1 lesson at 5 p.m. that day. 2. I'm aware the topic is about that 15-year-old white girl, because credit was missing from my schedule. In-app. And 3. Based on history, I'm convinced my side of the story wouldn't make a difference. I ended the text asking if I should expect a bigger punishment. He responded, "No, we can talk when you have a more convenient time. Please be mindful of the repercussions of your words and tone. Thanks." Yeah, that's fucking stupid. December 7th. I received a review praising Roberto and myself. I was called, and I quote, "very technical/informative, yet bashful." December 9th. I gave back-to-back lessons to twins, names Ender and Gray. December 10th. During my first lesson, my student and I got to drive very close to a Boost Boost Civic Type R FL5. Wow. I finished 15 consecutive work days, but only managed to get paid for 34 lessons. Slow season. December 14th. I arrived early enough that my male boss confronted me about the 15-year-old white girl that I learned cried, and the father was super pissed about it. Like, he wanted to hurt me. My boss, I'll quote some of the words. "I don't know if you respect me or not." He called me smart enough to know it's wrong to leave a student in tears. We came to an understanding that 1. He needs to have outs to correct any customer service error, and 2. I have permission to cut lessons short when the student is incapable and I'm losing my cool. There was an implication of no more chances and serious consequences for further unsatisfied clients. December 15th. I added a note on my time card that I spent 20 minutes over time due to traffic on the way back to a student's home, and to make that one and only student that day for me feel good about himself, because he's a dogshit driver that pissed me off for a second lesson. Second lesson with me, third lesson overall. I I asked for the extra time to be paid at my travel rate. December 18th, I joked to Roberto that a coworker will make love to him when he returns to the office. That joke aged well, because Roberto did get hit on by that guy. What a creeper. Coworker. My boss hiring fucking DJs. December 19th, during my 2 p.m. lesson, my student and I encountered deer on the road. December 20th, a 16-year-old black girl aced my practice test. December 21st, while I was parked not too far from my first student's house, a man parked in front of his house directly on my left, and then he approached me. He was mildly panicked and asked if I'm waiting for his son. My last student, 34-year-old non-smelly Indian woman, only needed help with the freeway. December 22nd, I received the usual Christmas gifts from my bosses. December 23rd, can't say that. Let me think. What can I say? This Middle Eastern girl almost ran over a dog, and we got cussed out by an old white man. My last student that day, which is the Indian girl I had today, canceled due to illness. I decided to get in a 20-minute walk. Before heading home, I pumped Roberto's low-on-air tire. December 27th, I picked up my first student on a street named the same as Logan's last name. December 28th, while I was on a walk, Roberto FaceTimed me. I passed by dog shit and showed him the logs. I have a history of sending him pictures of dog shit from my walks. When I got back to the office parking lot, a man approached me and asked to borrow a lug wrench so he could change out his flat tire. I agreed and waited. He was very thankful. And that's it. Done with work. I hope you enjoyed this vlog, Masterminds. I'll see you on New Year's Eve. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, be smart for your heart. Good night.